Hey, gang. This is Captain Dee-Fense. Captain's Corner actually is coming from my laundry room. We're going to talk about our playoff loss, 17-3 against the Bills. What a disheartening game. And it's pretty bad when your season comes to a screeching halt. Okay, Jonathan, what do you got? Straight to you. What do you got, buddy?
So let me start off by saying I probably won't have a tremendous amount to say positive about the offense,
Right.
but no, that's just simply because it was not a very good game for them at all, especially Lamar, from my opinion, from what I saw. But what I will say is this looks shockingly similar to our other playoff losses the last 2 years. I think you see all the flaws in Lamar's passing game are brought front and center in these losses, and this was just another example of it. So, but the defense holding, a team that score, averages like 30 something points a game to
Right.
10, because they held them to 10. The offense gave them that extra 7.
Right.
Was pretty fantastic. So that's a shining light. Hopefully you can maintain that, but this is the thing that needs to get fixed for them to get past teams in the playoffs.
Dave, what you got?
It was hard to watch. I know we got in desperate mode real quick, and I think that's exactly what led up to that pick 6 that pretty much sealed the game against us. But I know we played with heart. Our defense played pretty good for considering, all the obstacles that they had. So, poor field position, like the wind, playing against the wind was pretty rough. So, yeah.
What you got, Monica?
Okay, so first of all, Boykin catching 2 passes jinxed us. That's it. I mean, he called 2 passes, and that was it. That was the rest of the game. We just went downhill from there. But in all seriousness, it never seems to fail that when we fail on multiple levels. It's
Right.
never just the offense didn't do well or the defense didn't do well. It's always, the offensive line isn't going to pass block properly. The kickers are not going to kick properly. The receivers are going to run routes improper. Like, it just seems like if we're going to fail, it's going to be on multiple levels. I agree. I absolutely agree that the defense, given everything that they had to go through, really held on strong. I was very impressed. And I'm going to say one positive thing about the offense, and it's going to be about Hollywood. He actually is developing, or at least he's been developing in these last couple of games. He's still not a number 1 wide receiver. He's going to be our speed guy. We still need a true number 1. But he was developed pretty well.
Well, he got better, but the beginning of the game, I was really pumped. We ran the ball like 3 times in a row. We gaining yards. I told I said, okay. I said, I like this Greg Roman. We was running the ball. I was tweeting. I was texting somebody, Well, of course, it's always not a good sign when Tucker missed 2 field goals. That's not a good omen, but I know in the win.
Right.
But hey, Dave, you got any problems with Greg Roman?
So in our playoff losses, it's evident, like, it is really shows that he does not know how to do a good pass, any kind of pass thing. So he's ranked, and I believe I read this the other day, and I actually did some research and fact checked it.
25th, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the highest he's ever ranked, was like 24th, 25th in passing in his career. And he's never outside of the top 10 in running, which is great. That's really good if you're running. But look right now who's in the AFC Championship game, or both championships games.
Well, like I told you on my page, I like that running game, but sometimes teams going to say, we're going to stop your run. Can you beat us passing? And that's exactly what Buffalo Bills said. They're going to stack the box. They're going to put 9 or 10 guys, prove to us that you can pass the ball. So we need to have a plan B. Anyway, Monica, what do you got about Roman?
I feel the same way. One of the biggest things is he gets cute when he shouldn't, which irritates me. And then when he should be putting something else in there, getting a little diversity, is very vanilla. It's the routes are very who was it? Steve Senior said very elementary.
Yeah.
If they're going to jump, why not have some routes where, some slants or something like that where he can get the ball out and up and early fast. It seemed to me Roman had the guys running downfield and Lamar, with no pass protection, Lamar scrambling back there trying to wait for guys to come open. It was
But I agree. As John said, there was players open, but sometimes it looks like he gets happy feet. It looks like he's not planning. When it's a pure drop back, I'm gonna pass the ball, but it looks like his feet are constantly moving. Like I told somebody, he got defense. I said, I don't want Lamar Jackson to be a pocket pass. He's not. But sometimes he's gonna have to throw the ball from the pocket, and it looks like he gets happy feet, and then he's moving to the left, then he's moving to the right. That interception he threw in the end. I don't know what he was looking at. But it's a combination and everything. But what do you got, John? Greg,
sometimes I find it hard to see, is it because looking at the quarterbacks he's had throughout since he's been offensive coordinator, it's been like Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick, Tyrod Taylor, Lamar Jackson. He certainly didn't coach Brady at any point.
Right.
So one of the things, we talk about a lot of times how they're never throwing like fade balls to Dez and these guys and stuff. And it may simply be because let's say Lamar never makes those throws in practice. You're not going to call him in a game.
Right.
So I think there's probably some limitations in, he's trying to play to the strengths of what the quarterback can and can't do. If I had a problem with his coaching, and this might more fall to the quarterback's coach, is what work are they doing in the off season with guys like Lamar? What are they doing during the week? Because like we said, there was a lot of situations where guys were open during that game, and Lamar's not making the throws to him. He doesn't make timing throws very well. He doesn't throw guys open very well. And so I wonder is he not a good quarterback developer? If he had a very developed quarterback, would his plays be working? Now that being said, it also seems sometimes he's running some pretty rudimentary plays, but sometimes his plays work if the quarterback makes a throw.
But all them quarterbacks, Alex Smith and Tyrod Taylor, one thing they have in common, they very seldom turn the ball over and they play it safe. They never, Alex Smith, a dink, he very seldom throw many interceptions. They kind of play it safe quarterbacks. They don't stretch the field. So that's one thing. I don't know much about Kaepernick, but I know Taylor and Alex Smith with the Redskins. He don't turn the ball over. He kind of plays it safe. So I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Alex Smith's best season in terms of stats was the year he was with Roman in San Francisco. I think before. Was he in San Francisco? Gosh, it's hard for me to remember now.
He was in San Francisco, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was before Colin Kaepernick took over. I think his best statistical season was with Roman. But what does that mean? That's the thing. I don't know. I feel we have the wide receivers that can.
But didn't he it looks like Lamar regressed from last year. I remember the Rams games. He was making those throws.
Mm-hmm.
Rams defense wasn't that great, but it seemed like he was making those throws. And his MVP season, the Rams game, the Miami, they weren't great defenses, but I remember them making them throws. But anyway, Monica, who's that backup quarterback?
I think right now it's going to be we're going to go into camp with competition. I don't think they're going to come right out and say so and so's backup. I think these two guys are going to fight it out in camp, and I think it's well deserved for them too. We haven't seen enough of Huntley to say he's better than McSorley, but we definitely saw enough that you want to try it, you want to see, especially when the other guys are saying that they didn't want him to they wanted to stash him. I think we're going to fight it out in training camp to see what happens, but I do think we'll keep all three if we can.
But you know what, Huntley's stats would look a lot better if he hit Hollywood on that one Dobbins dropped going in. The one Dobbins dropped going into the end zone. Yeah,
Mhm.
just barely missed Hollywood and Dobbins dropped. Dobbins dropped what, 3 passes? I mean,
Yeah, couple.
yeah.
is he known as a receiving back? I don't know what his reputation is in college. I don't know if they use him as a receiver, but anyway, that's water over the band. But what do you think about backup, Jonathan?
I prefer I prefer Hundley simply because he can play more than 2 series without slipping and hurt himself without anybody hitting him. So sorry, that's a mean thing to
you
say.
You had to put that in there, right?
I know. No, actually,
This is live, man. We're not editing.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, if he wants to come fight, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I think they'll have a competition. But I really like what I saw from Hundley. I mean, he was making the throws out there.
Right.
You know, he missed the Hollywood throw and he overthrew it a little bit.
Right.
But he was making throws. He looked like he was reading defenses and going through his progressions really well. And he seems like he has the little bit of athleticism that they would like, that you're going to want to be the backup for a guy like Lamar, so that if he goes down, you don't have to vastly change everything.
Right.
Yeah, he that was the right read going to Hollywood. That was the right read. How about you, Dave, for the backup quarterback?
Ooh, yeah, it's definitely going to be a competition. It's going to have to be. I mean, yeah, I can't think of any other thing right now for it because he did well in he did okay in the Pittsburgh game.
Right.
Yeah, he kind of got throws to the Wolves, to the Bills. So yeah, competition is the fair way. Okay, Jonathan, who's our first round? What position are we drafting?
So this is not what anybody
27.
seems to be saying and everything like this, but I, in truth, want a safety. And I know that sounds crazy considering how the defense is played and everything.
Explain yourself.
I was going to say, yes, explain yourself,
Jonathan.
So look, we have the 2 safeties that we have.
Right.
Did they get any picks this year? Did they? I want a guy that's reading an offense and going out and making plays. The safeties were good. They weren't getting beat deep or anything like that, but it was the cornerbacks that were making the interceptions and making the plays. And I think you add a safety, especially with the potential losses we'll have to the pass rushers with Judon or Yannick going and stuff. I want Ed Reed to be resurrected as 21 years old and we draft him. But they've drafted a lot of offensive linemen over the last couple of years. And so I think there's room for those guys to fill in their roles. I think they got a guy that can step in at center. I think some of those other guys can play the other spots. So I don't know if a wide receiver is going to be the thing. And you can get free agent offensive linemen to fill in those spots. So I think you want to take this team to the next level. Lamar has to progress as a passer, but you need a guy on the back end at safety who's going to go with the corners we have and make you pay for making a bad decision. It's just one of the things we did. I don't know if the safety's got any interceptions this year at all.
Well, you talking somebody like a top.
Elliott did. I feel like Elliott got one.
Yeah.
You talking about somebody like Tyree Matthews for the Kansas City Chiefs, somebody like him?
Somebody, a playmaker. Yeah. And so if that guy is there, especially with safety, sometimes the safeties fall. I mean, they got Ed Reed at 22 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
27. If there's a guy that's a playmaker back there, I want that.
How about you, Dave?
I want an interior lineman or interior O lineman, like a guard, center, something like that, depending on who's available. There's a guard from Ohio State that I really like. And me being an Alabama fan, it's kind of odd me and actually like pointing out somebody from Ohio State. But yeah, I really like the Ohio State guard that's going to probably go in the first round. There's a couple players from Alabama I really like. So it all depends though.
How about you, Monica?
I think we take best player available, just as per usual, and only because we can use an O lineman. We could use, if there's a tight end, I'm not 100% sure, but if there's a really good tight end, we need a third tight end. I mean, we've proven that we need a third tight end.
So if a running back's there at 27, the best.
I was going to say, but except, so my notes, except running back, QB. I don't think we need to
No,
get
no.
either one of those. But other than that, yeah, I feel like best player available because we can. I mean, we're not sorely missing any particular piece, but we could definitely use the best player at an O-line. We can definitely use
Well, you know what I want? I want a elite defensive lineman that you got that gets 12 sacks every year.
I'll take that over the safety.
Huh?
Yeah, definitely take a pass rusher.
A D lineman with 10, 11 that you can pencil in for 10, 11 sacks every year, and the team have to game plans. Hey, we need to know where this guy is, and we need to double team this guy.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, that would be nice, but we drafted at 27, so maybe we can find somebody. But anyway, I was going over the. I think I sent you the free agent list. Who do we?
You did.
We bringing back Bowser. Do we agree?
I'd like
John.
to. I just worry about who can pay him because he showed sparks there towards the end. So I worry about what other people will offer him.
Well, what about Bowser, John? I mean, I think we'll be like what 30 million on the cap. I think something like that.
I think we were like 20 something to 28 under, I think.
Yeah,
so, yeah, well, that's the thing. If you can't get Judon back or if, Yannick goes somewhere, then you have to bring Bowser back because you can't lose everybody at that outside linebacker position. And he's probably going to be the cheapest of those guys. I think it also depends on, who you draft too. I don't think Dez will be back. I don't think Snead will be back. I don't think Skura will be back, which is weird considering he was playing so well. It seemed like he was just locked in there at center until he got the knee injury and then throwing the ball all over the place. But it seems that all their centers, except for the one that played for 2 games, was throwing the ball all over the place. So I have no idea.
I tell you what, that game, you really noticed of a center, the Bills game. You really noticed.
I kept screaming, why don't we just put these things in?
You're not supposed to notice this. And then the guy says crowd noise. Well, how many fans have 67,000? I guess they were loud, but what would happen if they had 71,000 people there? But anyway.
Maybe that's not playing with crowds all season. And then all of a sudden you play a game where it's just noisy and you've been used to being able to communicate all game.
Yeah.
And that's that, if you're playing with crowds every away game, then maybe it's you get used to that. But I still don't understand how that makes you throw the ball 18 feet over a guy's head.
Exactly.
What do you think about Derek Wolf, Dave?
I want to keep him.
Absolutely.
I really want to keep him.
He played good.
He played good. And one thing that really spoke out to me was the Ravens posted a video of Calais Campbell going over to Wolf and just saying, hey, I know I can recognize like how good you are and how good you're going to be.
Right.
And you're going to be good. And you're going to be real good. And it was just, it was good. Like I liked hearing like the positive feedback. It was like, I love the way you play. So I would love to have Wolf back. How
about DJ Fluker, Monica?
I'm sorry, who?
DJ Fluker.
No, I heard you. I just don't. No, we do not need DJ Fluker back. Lovely man. Thank you for coming. But no.
And John, how about McPhee?
So he might.
Well, I know it depends on a lot
of
thing. I'm just speculating.
No, but I'm saying I think he's a guy you could get back at a decent price, and I think he was one of those. If every team, especially any solid side of the ball, needs those guys that aren't flashy or whatever, but just do their job really well. They play at a really, he might not play at like a 90-something level if you're rating from 1 to 100, but he never plays at like a 40-something level. It's always in the 70s, 80s. It's always solid, and bringing him back was just a very smart move, and I would be perfectly happy with them keeping him around.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, we got to bring Morgan Cox back, right? I mean, the long snapper. I mean, he can't make that much money. We got to bring him back. But I think Chris Moore is gone, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't done. First of all, he was injured, and then he was. I think he was on the COVID list. he wasn't doing much before. So
Yeah, and also we was talking about Levine kind of being a glue guy. If he's, what I guess 1.8, the veteran member, he's not a bad guy to have. But also, I see we lost that linebackers coach, and who else did we lose? The linebackers coach. Who went to? We
lost 2 defensive coaches.
One went to Michigan as a D coordinator
Right.
Went to one guy. So but we'll be okay. How come our coaches don't get head coaching jobs?
Well, Greg Roman, I think it's pretty easy why he doesn't get head coaching jobs, because his fans of his current team want his head after every other game.
Yeah.
I with Wink, I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. The only thing I can think of is that, because he had a couple of interviews last year, right?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I think he might have kind of put it out there like, I'm looking for a specific job, like a specific team, like a specific opportunity.
It looks like, in other words, it looks like they're going to the young, clean-shaven whiz kids guy, and doesn't look that glamorous. You know what I mean? So all these guys getting head coaching jobs. I don't know if they're millennials or what they are. Wink doesn't look like a head coach in the generation, but he's a good guy. He plays defense, and I'm kind of glad if he. I'm kind of glad. I hope he does stay here. But if he get a head coaching job, that's fine. So, but anyway, I'm trying to compare this loss to last year with the Tennessee. Dave, what do you think?
That's tough because
it's hard to compare.
Yeah, it is. I was at the Tennessee game, and that one hurt. Because we were the best team in the league going in there, literally the best team in the league by record going into that game, and then Tennessee just insulted us. And Derrick Henry threw a freaking touchdown that game. So yeah.
Well, it looked like the Tennessee game. It looks like we were out of it early, unlike this Bills game.
Yeah.
It kind of like the Tennessee game, we were out of it, but the Bills game through the third quarter, we were still in it. We still got a chance. Make a couple plays here. We still got a chance, John. That's what I was thinking.
And that's I mean, with the it almost didn't matter how the defense was playing towards the end of the Tennessee game because it was so far away.
Yeah.
This game, the defense kept it close the whole time. I mean, if Tucker hits those 2 field goals, it's a 1-score game towards the end. 1 score, 2-point conversion, and you're tied up. So
right. He didn't throw that pick. What's the difference? If he doesn't throw that pick, or if the guy doesn't run it for a touchdown,
gets
tackled on the But that's water over the brand because like us fans, man, we complain, but we'll be back there next year.
I'll be back there taking my medicine next year, rooting on the team. And as a matter of fact, I'll be watching all this off season to see our moves and and to see what our draft is and all that stuff.
Well, that's funny. I follow NFL Live and I'm texting them all the time. So last week, Mina Kines and Laura picked the Bills, right? And so I told them, I said, hey, don't be picking against my regular each words. And because I told them, I said, the quote Dirty Dancing, when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. So what I do, I texted Monday, I said, yesterday, I said, I'm taking my music. I'm here. I don't run and hide. So that was kind of, funny that, I really thought we was going to win the game. And I thought we had a good chance. But, my wife says, you lost. What are you going to do? I said, well, I woke up and the sun came up. I'm okay. Right. But I'm looking forward to next year. And maybe we'll do this once a month, I guess, or maybe we'll do it, because
we could do a draft preview. Yeah, we could do all. We could do
maybe I do a free
agency.
Yeah. Maybe I do a free agency one, and maybe we'll do a draft like that. So
don't worry, I'm on Twitter constantly trying to get free agents.
Do you watch the game? Dave, are you watching the playoffs?
I don't know. I might. Literally, I have so much stuff to do at my house this weekend, but I might end up just watching some of the games on Sunday. I don't even know who I want to move to the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. Like,
You, Monica.
Oh, I'll be watching. Rooting for the Bills, and I'm rooting for the Packers.
How about you, John?
Once the Ravens are knocked out, I kind of don't care much anymore.
Right.
That being said, I am very interested in watching Rodgers and Brady play against each other
Yeah.
and how that turns out. And I kind of want whoever wins that game to go on and win the Super Bowl. It would be nice to watch Brady win another Super Bowl, as much as we hate him and everything, because it would show that it might have been him that was doing it up in New England that whole time.
Yeah.
Because he goes to Tampa Bay and they're one game away from the Super Bowl. Patriots didn't even make the playoffs. So
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, I don't make plans to watch the game, but if I'm home, I'll watch it. In other words, don't make my schedule around. If I'm happen to be there, and I say, I might as well go downstairs and watch the game and stuff like. So I don't really, I don't really care who wins. Just
usually at this point, I'm more interested in watching the Pro Bowl. Whenever the Ravens are done, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well now when's the Pro Bowl coming on? And
well, there's no Pro Bowl.
no Pro Bowl.
There's no fans at the Super Bowl. I don't think.
I haven't heard anything.
no combine.
They having no combine. They're gonna have pro days, so there's no combines they're not having. So
Yeah, it's going to be a very weird off season.
and we draft what 27.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So long draft day. Almost all our draft days are long. Like
Yes.
we're always waiting. It's very rare. It was a couple years. The last time I'm sure we drafted high since then. The last time I really remember was when we got Suggs, because we were drafting like 10th or whatever it was.
Yeah, I was at
9th.
I was at that draft. I was at that draft in New York.
Mhm.
Hey, John, remember that one? We went to the restaurant in Columbia, and they moved back. Remember?
Oh
Remember
yeah,
we was at the-
yeah.
I'm sure
Yes.
what draft? There was a
Mhm.
draft. We were sitting there, and then they moved back to the second round.
Yeah, that always makes for a really wasteful day, because you're sitting there waiting, and then
Yeah.
they're like, they didn't even pick anybody now. It's
Yep.
it's like, come on.
Yeah.
What a year we drafted Lamar. After the draft Hurst, I left the place, and I didn't find out until the next day that we had drafted Lamar Jackson. I was the last pick, and I left. And I got up in the morning. I'm looking at Lamar Jackson. I said, we drafted Lamar Jackson, so it'd be interesting. But anyway, guys, I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your patience, Dave, especially for moderating this. I hope you guys and gals had a lot of fun,
It
Absolutely.
was great.
and we'll do this again. Maybe we'll take it national one of these days.
All right. Bye,
Maybe somebody
everybody.
even pay us for it. No.
Yeah.
Okay. See y'all later.
Hey, guys.
See you later, John, Monica,
Hey
and Dave.
guys, thanks.
Bye.
Great
Okay.
job.
Bye.
There we go.
Okay.